Hey everyone, let's walk you through your study guide here. So this way, one, you can check answers. Two, all right, you can maybe jump onto a different approach because there are many approaches for solving these problems. And lastly, you just get a little bit more of the than just an answer key that you're looking at. So we're talking about area here and perimeter on these first problems. What I want to notice is that we're dealing with a triangle here. So what I've got to figure out is how wide my rectangle is, my triangle that is, and I can see it is. I know that measurement. That looks a bit of a typo. It's definitely not a 3, but we're going to use it. So I can see that it is 3 wide, and then I need to know how tall it is. So tall is going to be an up and down. So I can see it's 6. See that 7 there? That 7's going on a slant. We're talking about height. We don't go to the doctor's office and say lean to the side to find your height. They say stand up straight. So you can think of it as there's the floor. And then if we're standing straight up and down, it will always make a right angle. So we're going to multiply 3 times 6. We're going to get 18, but we don't want all of it. We only want half of it because it is a triangle. 18 divided by 2, hello, 9. So we do get ourselves 9 inches squared. If your units of measurement, again, we're not fixating on it. Perimeter is adding up all the sides. So this is a triangle, which means it has 3 sides. So we are going to add up the 3 sides. 7 plus 3 is 10. 10 plus 6 is 16. So it's 16, again, just inches. All right, second question. It is a parallelogram. So two approaches here. You can go visual. The visual says, hey, there's that triangle. Cut it. Slide it on over here. By doing that, that's going to end up forming a rectangle that we're looking at. So all we need to do then is to figure out how wide that rectangle is. Oops. And we can see because there's the 7 down here, that means that would be a 7 up there. And then we need to figure out how tall that rectangle is, going straight up and down, which I can see the 4 there. So my area is going to be 7 times 4, which means we're going to get ourselves 28 inches squared. Now, the other approach to it is the formula approach, which more efficient, all right? Less visual, I shouldn't say more efficient, my goodness, people, it's what you see better, all right? But what the formula allows you to do is to just multiply the base times the height. So base, again, the floor at the doctor's office, the height straight up and down. And you can see it uses the 7, you can see it uses the 4. So again, 7 times 4 is your 28. Again, two different techniques just based on what you see better. The 6 people, we're not using it. All right, so don't feel like you have to just, yay, multiply all the numbers together. No, 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 no. You got to think of what your approaches are for your different shapes. Perimeter, remember, it's adding up all the sides. This is a parallelogram. It has 4 sides. I can see that this side is a 6, which means the other side needs to be a 6. The bottom is a 7, which means the top is a 7 as well. So we can add them all up. 6 plus 6 is 12. 12 plus 7, 19. 19 plus 7, hello, 26. So 26, and the distance, it's just your inches that you're looking at. All right, the third one here, it is a triangle. All right, so for your triangle, again, you could draw it and make your rectangle. That's fine. The main idea here is just like the previous problem, just like the one above that, we need to figure out how wide it is and how tall it is. So you can see there that the floor is 14, the height is a 7, but wait, we don't want all of it. It's a triangle. We need to divide it by 2. So 14 times 7 is 98. But again, we only want half of it. So that's going to give us 49. So 49 centimeters squared. If you're doing the visual approach, and again, I think it's great because it helps you even with your algorithm that we're talking about. Watch what's going on here. We make it into the rectangle. And again, you can see the 14. That's how wide it is. And then what we can also see is how tall it is. It's not the 8. The 8's what's going on the slant here. So we're not interested in the slant. We're not interested in the slant. We're interested in how tall it is straight up and down, and that's going to be the 7 that's there. So again, you can see the 14 times the 7, but remember, we only wanted the triangle. So that's half of that rectangle, which is why we're dividing by 2. Perimeter, we're going to add up the sides of this particular shape. It's a triangle, so it has 3 sides. So we just are going to grab the sides. So we've got a 14, we've got an 8, and we've got another 8. So if we add up those guys, there's your perimeter. So 14 plus 8 is 22. 22 plus 8, hello, 30. So 30 centimeters. Question number 4, rectangle. All right, here we go. We can see how wide it is. We can see how tall it is. So yes, 8 times 6. Oh, feels good to get back to basics there. All right, it's 48 inches squared. Perimeter, we're adding up the sides. Again, it is a rectangle. So there are 4 sides that are there. Again, the top and the bottoms are the same. The lefts and the rights are the same. So 8 plus 6 is 14. 14 plus 8, 22. 22 plus 6, 8. And again, if you're using your calculator to verify things, to do something for you, that's fine. Nothing wrong with it at all. All right, here we go now. Question 5. We're chopping. I'm going to chop from left to right. Okay, we're just finding the area. All right, so that's all we're doing here. So if I look at this particular rectangle, I'm going to come over here first. I can see that it's 2 wide. I can see that it's 4 tall. So 2 times 4, hello, 8. So that's my region 1 that I'm talking about here. I'm going to go to region 2 now, which I'm going to call this guy over here. I can see it's 2 wide. Now here we go, people. Don't fall for it. Don't fall for it. How tall is it? It's not 9. Okay, 9 goes from the top all the way to the bottom. We only want from here to here, though. So I got to figure out how long this line is. Well, it's a rectangle, which means this line's the exact same. And as I can see, from that side, so I can see that it is just 4. So it also is a 2 times a 4, which is an 8 as well. The last thing is the third rectangle. And again, don't fall for it. The 9 goes from the top all the way to the bottom. We only want this particular section from right there. So here we go. If the entire distance was a 9, so that's starting up here, we're going all the way down to there, and you can see here we've used up 4 so far. So the entire distance is 9. We've used up 4. That means the missing amount down here is a 5. Now, I can see going from left to right. Oh, that's nice. It's right there. So that's just a 5 times a 7. So 5 times 7 is going to give you 35. Yeah. So now we're going to take all of our pieces, add them all up. So we've got an 8 plus an 8 plus a 35. 8 plus 8 is 16. 16 plus 35, 51. So we've got an answer of 51 meters squared for that first one there. All right, second one, we're going to chop. You could chop up and down. You could chop left to right. It's completely up to you. I'm going to chop from left to right here. All right, and oh my goodness, look at this, people. Look at this. I don't have to do much. Look at this. How tall is it? Yeah, it's 4. How wide is it? Yeah, it's 5. 4 times 5, hello, 20. All right. Now, if we're looking at the height for this rectangle, just go to the other side. My goodness, there's the 4. We're looking for how wide it is. There it is. There's the 9. 4 times 9, 36. So when we add that 20 and that 36 together, we get 56 feet squared. And we are done. There's your second one, sir. All right. It's a triangle. Okay. So I need to figure out the area of it. So what we're talking about is, like on the first one, we need to figure out how wide it is, figure out how tall it is, known as the base and the height. So what we're after here is, because this is our x-axis, we're going left to right. I need to figure out the x coordinates. So again, if I'm looking for this line, it goes left to right, just like the x axis. So I'm going to use my x coordinates. Remember, it's the x coordinate first and the y coordinate second, which means you should be using a 10 and you should be using a 2. So we want to figure out on a number line, how far is it to get from a 2 to a 10? Well, yeah, it's 8. To get from 2 to 10 on a number line, it is 8. All right. Now we're going up and down. We're going up and down here, just like your y-axis. So because we're going up and down, like the y-axis, we want the y coordinates, which means we're not using the first number. We're now using the second number. So you should see a 9 and you should see a 2. How far is it on a number line to get from a 9 to a 2? All right. Well, yeah, it is a distance of 7. So now we've got our measurements. And so it's actually going to be very similar to what we saw up here now. It's just that they gave us the measurements in this problem. So 7 times 8, below 56. Oh, but it's a triangle. So we don't want all of it. We only want half of it. Take 56, divide it by 2, and you should get 28. So it's 28. We don't have any units of measurement, so you could say units squared. I'll just take 28. All right. Next one over here, same idea. It's a rectangle. Maybe it's a square. I don't know. Let's see here. So if I want to figure out how tall it is, figure out how wide it is. So let's do the tall, the height. The height goes up and down just like the y-axis. So I need to use the second coordinate. So I can see I'm using the 1 and I'm using the -8. So if we use the number line, again, we can just simply count if you want. Use those fingers, people, all right? Or we can use the axis to help us out. How far is it from a 1 to a 0? Well, it's 1. How far is it from a -8 to a 0? It's 8. So the entire distance traveled then is, yeah, it's 9. But like I said, people, count. All right, you're at -8, -7, -6, -5, -4, -3. I'm counting on my fingers right now. Okay, get all the way to 1, and you're going to find out that you counted 9 spaces there. We're going to go left to right now. So because of that, we're using the x coordinates, the x. So left to right, x, which means I'm using the -5 and we're using the 4. So if we're trying to figure out how far it is from -5 all the way to 4, again, you could count, or what you could simply do is, hey, it's 5 to get to -5 to 0. It's 4 to get from 0 to 4. So the entire distance is a 9. So 9 times 9, hello, 81. All right. And then question 7 here. We're going to chop. So I'm going to go straight up and down. All right. I can see my rectangle there. I'm going to call this region 1. So that's 5 times 4, hello, 20. I'm going to chop. Call this region 2. You can see your rectangle. 7 wide, 6 tall, 7 times 6, 42. And then the last one that's there, it's a triangle. I can see it's 5 tall. All right. I'm only going to here, so I'm not going to use the 7. I'm going to use the 6. So 5 times 6 is 30. But wait, there's more. So add them all up there, 20, 42, and 15. So that's 62 All right, that'll give me 77. There's my winning answer.